Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Twisted in the Twilight, where today is the day. I know I said yesterday was going to be the day, but today is the day where we're going to do something real stupid and get into a war with absolutely everybody. But probably not this turn, right? We're still gathering forces, we're still preparing. So we have 3 of our armies in position, and Orion's running back, and when we get Orion over here, that might be the time. And again, we'll see. We'll check in with the dwarves one last time before we go for it, and we'll see if maybe our reputation will have recovered. Nope, these guys are just never... They're not going to stay permanently banished. Well, that's annoying, but I guess... Here's what we're going to do. We're far enough in the campaign now. How do you do this? Here. We're far enough in the campaign now that I think we can just turn off Hero Not Moved notifications. We don't have any heroes that we really want to move anywhere. The problem with those notifications, really, is that they don't let you choose which characters they apply to. You can't, there's no button, like, on a particular hero that says, don't show me this notification anymore. That's the thing I would really like. Because it very often is the case that, like, I post a scout in a place and I just want them to stay there for a long time. But I also have other heroes that I want to make sure I remember to move. And we all know, if the game doesn't prompt me, I will not remember a thing. That's just not going to happen. Alright, I do not want to see peace. I want to see war. I want to see lots more people ending up at war with each other, creating a lot of chaos, basically just giving me cover. Giving me cover for trouble. Okay, we're gonna do this. It looks like they'll just give us the auto-resolve. I guess this is not an amazing army. Again, with these armies that are like just 90% huge monsters, and then a couple of flying units. How do these guys intend to fight us, I wonder?
We fight for the forest.
There was no real plan there. I hate to be the one to tell you this, and look, it hurts me that this is true as well. But you can't solve your problems entirely with dinosaurs. I know. Listen, I tried too. But the fact is, at some point you have to realize, dinosaurs need support. There have to be other elements at play. Well, that's going to make it really easy to just claim the Serpent Coast. We'll take that over and make that a place where the sisters can chill for a turn. But yeah, now it is time. We are out of other things to do. We are out of ways of generating reputation with the dwarves. So I suppose we could try giving them some gold. We still have a turn or two, probably a couple of turns. Before Orion is in place and we're ready to consider doing things. So we may try just giving the dwarves some gifts of gold, converting gold into rep at what I think is not a great rate. Out of curiosity, nope, still very low, with no impression of how long it will take us to. It probably should tell you how long it will take your reliability to change. Alright, Serpent Coast should have a very, very small remaining garrison, and this is the end of this force. Okay, enough of these lizards. Solus, unfortunately, you have very little value at this point. There's really nothing for you to do except, I suppose, get over here? I don't know, there's not really a lot for him to do. The sisters need a turn of replenishment.
Only when necessary.
We lost an actual unit here. It was probably archers? I don't know what it was. I wasn't paying enough attention to the battle outcome, because why would we have lost a unit while all the other units' health barely changed? But I guess we did. Also, Orion's army is missing a unit. Okay, it's fine. We'll, boy. Where do we... Oh, we do have a friendly territory here. I was going to say, where could we even go to get some replenishment on? I mean, we could just do it in... Probably the best thing to do is to get into encampment mode near the source of the fight and do a turn of global recruitment from there. Sure, why not? One thing that has always bugged me a little bit about Total War Warhammer is that the UI lag on that next task element in the lower right. Because I clicked that while it was still a hammer. I was like, oh, do I have a damaged building somewhere else? But by the time it processed the click, it had changed to be end turn. It sure didn't say end turn when I pressed the mouse button, though. Because I would have, this would have been a good turn to have a quick chat with the dwarves. Hopefully their feelings about us will not have decayed too much over this extra turn sequence. So now that the greenskins and the last defenders are dead, I think the Empire is out. The Empire and the dwarves are both sort of out of people to fight, right? It is incredible that that guy is routinely able to kill a level 39 hero while he is level 19. I'll tell you what, the math on that doesn't really work. Is it faster to underway through this forest? Wow, it really, really is. That is an incredible amount of distance to be able to move via the underway. Alright, Orion. Probably we want to do this turn at full sprint, and then next turn we might underway around. I don't know if we'll be able to make it. Nah, next turn is probably also running, actually. How you guys feel about it? 287 already. Incredible. So if I give them the largest gift, what does that do for our reputation? Well, it at least sets us back upward. Let's give them a couple of those. So let's see here. Gifts given is at 40 right now. Okay, it does. They do just stack up linearly. Well, that being the case, we can certainly afford to do this a couple of times. Let's just keep that number trending upward for the moment. And I mean, I'm sure that this isn't gonna work, but we may as well ask. But what if you weren't in a military alliance with the Border Princes, huh? What about all that? I have no idea if giving them gold to convert into reputation via the gift system is more effective at turning them on deals than just putting the gold in the deal.
Anything is possible.
I would assume that it is not, but who knows. Alright, so now just running. Now just a lot of running. I don't know what I'm even scrolling back over here for. All we're going to do is end the turn. So we'll get the sisters back to Orion's camp, and then we can deep root our way up to the actual fight. And maybe we're not going to be as far behind as I thought we were, because we can really move. We'll try again with Reichland as well, see if we can get Reichland to ally up with us. Because if we do that, I think there's at least some chance that Karaz-a-Karak will refuse to join the Border Princes in the war. Ah, man. They're moving all their armies back into positions where they will be a problem for us. Not that I don't think we could take them, necessarily, but I sure would prefer that this be easy. What on earth? Why are Bretonnians running into my forest and trying to assassinate me? For what purpose? Just to let me know that they are not nice people. It's hard for me to imagine that this will matter at all. Yeah, leadership up, sure. The Sword of Cain was laid to rest and then immediately reclaimed because they were like, no, wait a second, I love violence. Where even is the edge of the movement area? No, seriously, where's the edge of the... I was expecting it to not show the arrow as yellow anymore once we're outside of it. I think maybe the problem is that the edge of the movement area is underneath forest cover?
I seek prey.
We can make it this far. That'll work. That's a start.
Waiting.
And I don't know, you got your orders. Okay. Pit of Shades fully upgraded. That's cool. Apparently just sitting here outside of the battle site is worth a lot of experience. Everybody's learning all kinds of new things.
My axe thirsts for war.
So Alaric Ranulfson's army is pretty good, but not... Well, I was going to say they're not super heavy on range stuff. I guess they have a variety of different kinds of ranged things. I'm just thinking about how we're going to take Karaz-a-Karak. Alright, Orion is close. You know what, let's do one more turn of marching. Because all of this area is impassable, right? So he's well on his way. I don't actually care about any of this. Whoops, that's not the button I wanted. This one. So, we're definitely hoping that something changes with the Border Princes. I have a defensive alliance with the Empire. So if we could get the Border Princes to declare on us, we at least wouldn't have to worry about that. I'm not actually sure what happens in that case. If they have a military alliance with one of the forces, with the attacking force, and a defensive alliance with the defending force, they probably have to pick. I don't know. I think they would pick. They would choose to side with the other person because of our reliability, probably. So yeah, it's all bad. My point is, it's all bad. Every bit of it is bad. What if you broke your military alliance with the Border Princes in exchange for all of my money? Would that work? Could we at least lessen the pressure that we're going to feel here? Nope. Nope, we could not. Well, so it goes, I suppose. Do we want to put together... I'm going to put together another army. We can afford the... we can afford to be slightly negative. So... do we want to bring in that cool beast man? That cool terrifying beast... or tree man, rather? I think so. Oh, I guess the deep roots are going to be a problem, though. If we create another army at the Griffin Wood for the purpose of bringing it down there, then we have to have the sisters run actually toward the conflict rather than going to Orion's camp, because we're not going to have the ability to move them both through the deep wood. That's fine. It's not a big deal. So this dude, of course, wants people to he wants tree people. The greater aspect of the birch gives us even more of a benefit. I do wish that he had the appropriate skills, and also that he had spent any points on his magic, but one problem at a time, I suppose. So do we have better armor than this? I mean, the glittering scales are fine. We could give you... you already have Fear and Terror, so that's not too exciting. Plus 50 armor-piercing damage isn't bad, though. Great big ward save... given how tough tree men are, I'm inclined to think a potion of healing would be very effective. Each point of health on a tree man is worth an awful lot. And then, yeah, you know what? Movement speed. Movement speed is also worth a hell of a lot. Okay, in this case, we probably do not need campaign movement. This guy's hardly ever going to move. So... base weapon damage up for a unit in your army, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I don't know that we don't really have a lot of, like, very impressive banners. It's weird that this one is it's worded as giving the unit an ability that is constantly on that gives 4 leadership, while there's also a standard that is just a flat leadership bonus. Like, aside from the number being different, what is the difference between these two methods of leadership application? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Enemy leadership down by 5 is pretty good, especially like stuff like this that applies to the entire region is really good when you're planning on doing a lot of armies fighting close together, the way we are. Okay, you're apparently very good at dealing with vampires, which is a skill that you will never need again. So we have some reason to bring on trees, but also just, you know, like the generally powerful things are still going to be generally powerful. Did that skill apply to... okay, the charge bonus does apply to tree men. We don't have the skill for armor and physical resistance, which is like, I mean, it's significant. 10% physical resistance definitely matters. We'll go an extra tree man here relative to the other armies, and then like Wildwood Rangers are just always going to be good. We do love an archer. So 60 guys firing at 56 missile strength. Yeah, we definitely want a bunch of Way Watchers and then like a couple units of Hagbane Glade Guard just to keep the poison debuff up on people. And Treekin. Maybe Dryads. Maybe Dryads. Because we kind of already have our stand and fight infantry, and I think even with some of the Treekin buffs, I still think Wildwood Rangers are probably a little better at that job. So let's maybe do a little bit of this and like... Oh, you know, Hawk Riders are really good for us. I'm not using enough Hawk Riders. We should have more Hawk Riders. Do I... Wait. There they are. I was about to say, do I just not have Hawk Riders in the global pool? Apparently, we just barely can't recruit an entire army in one turn. Well, that's fine. We have 2 turns. Go ahead and do that. Alright, yeah, this is this is going to be risky. This is going to be a scary time once we actually commit here. I was really hoping that we were buying enough time for our diplomatic reliability to recover a little bit. Or for just, you know, some kind of chaos to occur or something. For something to budge the interminable situation in which we find ourselves. But it turns out it's actually interminable. So I suppose we will just live in it. We will just do horrifying things within it. I mean, you gotta admit, this is a pretty in-character action for an army of Wood Elves. Then we just went nuts and murdered everybody because of a tree. Because of the position of a tree. Okay. That Karaz-a-Karak army leaving might mean this is the turn that we have to make our move. Kron's going to war with another random nonsense faction. Yeah, burning Karaz-a-Karak that sure would be great for us. So let's have a look at how long it looks like it's going to take the sisters to get where they're going. Also, didn't that guy assassinate my other unit last turn? Did he pull that off while exhausted? I mean, not that it matters.
Eternal Guardian.
Okay.
Itching for fresh battle.
If we're gonna have you teleport, or if we're gonna have you run instead of teleporting, you're so far away, and you're gonna be running through so much enemy territory. Maybe that's not actually a possibility. Yeah, I don't think we can actually do that. Never mind. You are just gonna go back to the forest, and you are going to wait for the deep roots to open to you. I guess we need a couple of turns anyway for things to finish moving around. I certainly don't want to declare war while we still have to run through a bunch of dwarf territory, so... Yeah, we're not quite ready to make the thing happen yet. So,
Awaiting bloodshed.
there's a question. Do I think we can make it from here to there in a single underway move?
Craving prey.
Yeah, probably.
Onward.
This should work. Alright, we're not going to end up too far negative. We are going to be able to sustain these forces for a very, very long time. Still very low. Okay. But, you know, still trending upward as well. So the only thing that we really need to happen... I mean, first of all, obviously we have to not lose the forest. But we just need to clear out all of the regions adjacent to the forest. So that'll make it really hard for the enemies to approach us, and it will create those little logical traps where sometimes the AI just does a dumb thing because they have the ability to do it. they'll have the option of resettling stuff and right in front of my armies. And if my armies are invisible, maybe they'll fall into that. Oh man, I don't want to... This is going to be bad. We're going to declare war and we're immediately going to be set upon by armies from 3 different players. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just kill his guys inside Karaz-a-Karak. It's not what I would have preferred to do, but it'll work. Alright, they're gearing up to get aggressive with me. First of all, they're going to take too long to actually commit, and secondly, it wouldn't even matter if they did it, so... Okay, Phoenix is getting better at ambushes, which unfortunately is a trait that will not matter at all very, very soon. Varcio did respawn. Where did that... Are you Varcio? You are Varcio. I mean, we should have Varcio run back over here once the war is joined and we no longer care what the dwarves think about us. It will actually be valuable to have heroes over here. Again, I do not... Okay, the edge of the movement area is like here.
Looking for a fight.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And the next turn we're in our Orion's camp, and the turn after that we're teleporting. Or at least we could. Alright, just run across the Varenka Hills. Who cares?
You are mad.
Okay, but actually in friendly territory here.
Setting forth.
Nope, don't do that. Just move to... Alright, that'll do.
I thirst.
Do we have enough movement? Okay. There are so many of us, and yet somehow the dwarves have no idea, except it seems like they probably do, actually. Based on the way they're keeping that army in a defensive position. This is just some Waywalker, some Waystalker somewhere. Okay. Why are we getting level ups on all these random people who are doing nothing? Okay, so this is the turn where we move the Caduceus' army. Okay, a 6-turn cooldown on the Deep Roots is a bit of a problem. It's a small issue. I mean, honestly, just ambush mode right where you're standing, probably? Oh yeah, and we need Orion to have a little bit of recruiting time too. I mean, we could do that once we take the forest, I suppose. Alright, let's pass at least one more turn. So let Orion regain his movement ability. And maybe it'll end up being faster for the sisters to just run north from the trees. I think that moving straight west through the mountain wall might still have been the fastest way to get where we're going. Because in any place except the part where those dwarves live, the mountains were too thick for us to do an underway move completely through them. No, that doesn't seem wise. Making additional treaties with you.
Scum. I will put...
Okay. So I guess, yeah, we should go now because all of the powers of the world are preparing to declare war on us anyway. This is gonna be... You know, it's gonna be thrilling. That's the bright side here. Think how much excitement we're about to experience. Okay, and Alaric Renolfson runs out of Karaz-a-Karak once more, which is just wonderful. Kuron has been attacked by the exiles of Nehek. So the Empire and the Dwarves have both gone already. You know what? Yes, I will stand true. The exiles are my oldest friend. Fine, I'm at war with the damn Bretonnians. Who cares? What do you mean defensive alliance broke? Oh, it's right. It's not saying that because of that. This is just a notification that they did that to us. I was gonna say, wasn't that already terminated? You don't get to blame me for that. Okay. So, what is my current diplomatic status? That didn't put me at war with anybody else, despite the fact that Bretonia is already at war with those people. So there may have been a clever way of using that fact, the fact that going to war with people in some ways does not trigger alliances, even though it absolutely should. But I don't know. We're kind of past that point. So let's just do it, I guess. So we declare war on these guys. Everybody else goes to war with me. 2 armies should be able to trivially take Karaz-a-Karak. I mean, we gotta take the Forest of Gloom first, right? Because we want to have this when the raisings occur so that we get the benefit of the forest health. We can send another army to Varenka Hills. Akendorf will be a little bit more challenging of a conquer, so we probably don't do it this turn. But we set up ambushes and stuff. Yep, I do believe that's the thing. Let's come down here and
When do we fight?
move the sisters. Do I want to just burn down... I don't have time to burn down Karak-Zord. I got places to be. We're going to have to travel through a lot of hostile territory on the way up. But I mean... they'll... oh boy. Maybe I do just fall back to the camp. It's probably not actually going to be that much of a difference in terms of time to approach. If you just look at the raw distance we have to cover. Okay, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. We'll fall back to the camp and just wait.
The time for talk is over. Make your demands.
Let's do it. I'm not afraid of the entirety of the armies of the eastern part of the world. Oh, the anger. Oh, the anger. Okay, first things first. Forest of Gloom must fall. This part should be pretty auto-resolvable. We're definitely going to want to manually resolve a lot of these fights, though, because we are looking to get every little bit of value. In fact, maybe we should manually resolve... yeah, maybe we should manually resolve everything. I'm just thinking, like... we got to wring every possible bit of value out of this, because we're going to have to fight an awful lot over the next few turns. We cannot be taking any more casualties than are absolutely necessary. It is, of course, worth noting that it's not guaranteed to be the case that me fighting these battles will result in lower casualties. The auto-resolver does seem to like our troops an awful lot. I would argue, clearly too much. But in a case like this, I think we can probably get pretty close to no casualties. And the auto-resolver might give us that or might not. So we don't actually know exactly where the enemies are.
Waywatchers!
Oh man, Waywatchers, this whole army has Vanguard deployment.
Archers ready!
Did I know that that was going to be the case? I don't remember knowing that that was going to be the case. Well, let's forward deploy in the forests over here. We're going to do one of those things where we just leave a couple of units normally visible to draw the enemy forward. Treemen, over here, along with the dragon, and we'll annoy them with some Hawk Riders. They only have 2 ranged units, so that should be pretty effective, I would think. They started way over there for some reason. Well, it does look like they want to come to us, even though there's not any reason that they should do that. So that's nice of them. Let's fly over here into range to drop the volley on them, and then we'll fall back. But I want to volley their gunners as quickly as we can, so as to get the cooldown started again. Oh, one of the units of gunners is on this side. We'll do these guys. Get just close enough to do that, and then back off. Pretty solid. Yeah, they're just gonna go home right now. They're like, you know what? Never mind this garbage. Oh, changing their minds. They're thinking about it. Oh, you guys are... I forgot to tell them not to fire. So they're kind of spoiling the ambush. Well, that's going to affect the way that some of these enemies move. Boy, I really didn't think we were going to end up in firing range there. Well, that's fine. They're gonna do this now instead of participating in the battle, so that works for me. You lot should probably, if you're gonna spoil the ambush, make sure you spoil those guys first. And you just shoot some dragon breath over here. Finish the job. Let's be rid of those guys. Alright, let me make sure that... I don't think we had guard mode on here, right? No, we totally didn't. Alright, yeah. So, they got great swords and they got halberds. These are both actually very good units. The great swords are great at fighting melee infantry, and the halberds are great at fighting large, so we just want to be careful and not let them do the thing they want to do. We got our free Flock of Doom, which we may as well cast, and then I'm sure to be followed shortly by the real Flock of Doom. And I'm going to have the Hawk Riders just run over here. If they want to keep their gunners out of the fight entirely, that's fine by me. With them not having any ranged anymore, I just want my melee. There we go. Nope, that selected. Okay. I just want my melee. There we are. You guys may as well move. Why did that... just my melee. There we go. Selection just grabbed a single unit of ranged, ignoring the orders that I had given it. We should probably actually have one of the Glade Guard units focus on somebody else, because the Glade Guard are mostly here, right, to take advantage of the poison. Okay. They turned around. How dare they? Crows for everyone! Do you guys have your volley back? Oh, almost. I was hoping that they would keep marching forward and we would be able to volley them by the time it was we were re-engaged. Okay. So now all of the ranged on you except for you. You get to switch targets. So this is a unit of greatswords, right? Yeah. Trees, just back up. You don't got to engage in this. We don't have to be a part of this. And the dragon comes over here to hit people in the back once melee is joined. No sense letting them reload.
Ready and able. Death to all.
Alright, they should be giving up any moment now. Oh please just group right up there. Oops, I did. Okay, that dragon does not have the aim that I had assumed he would have. You know, if somebody told me to breathe in a direction, I feel like I could get that mostly correct. The dragon just hard missed its target and breathed on our own dudes. You know, you can't trust a dragon. Everyone's always known this. So 25 losses. Would the auto-resolver have given us that result? I don't know, probably. Also, the battles are actually fun. I've definitely over-engaged in the auto-resolve on this campaign just because it keeps offering us such incredibly good numbers. But it is fun to actually do the battles. The loading times are less fun. So now we got to get Karaz-a-Karak. We burn Karaz-a-Karak, and that should give us at least 10 points of forest health, right? We do the same thing to the small border prince's town for another 10. Akendorf is another 10. There's a dwarf town to the north, and like we can get 40 or 50 points over the first couple of turns here. Occupy, please. I almost raised it. Just because, you know, I'm always thinking about raising it. Let's make sure we get this going, and then, like... we probably want some recruitment buildings so that we can fill quickly from the local pool here, although I don't know like exactly what we need. We don't have the kindred for any of the fancy buildings. So yeah, I guess that'll have to do. Okay, who's taking Karaz-a-Karak? I want Beastbinder Orion forward for sure, so I think he'll grab Varenka Hills. Nobody's anywhere near reaching Akendorf, right? Yeah, nobody will be able to do that. Okay, so
How can I assist you? Your request is reasonable.
who do we think is the best at fighting? It's Orion and probably Drycha. So I'll have Drycha go forward. Otrolio and Phaonix can take this. Who do we want to be the attacking army? I guess Phaonix, because Otrolio has at least some flyers that can get into combat quickly.
Kindred to battle! Destroy them!
Just siege that up for a moment while we continue to work out the logistics here. So Otrolio, move up into reinforcing position.
Lord of the Forest.
This is, yeah, okay, it is a heath. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. Here, 20 units against, or 40 units against 6. I bet the auto-resolver is going to give us 0 losses, so we'll probably just take this one. What do you mean you will not obey? Just do the thing you were told to do. Why is it always got to be so difficult? Okay, 11's fine. So it doesn't give us... We did take an amber buff that gives +5 to this, right? I'm pretty sure. I do wish that it would show that here.
For the Kadai.
Does that actually work the way we want it to? Yes. Okay. Also, winning a battle is worth some health by itself, so that's nice. You can grab stand your ground and absolutely should.
God King of the Deepwood.
I forgot that Orion still had points to spend. Let's get Prey. You know, it feels like he's been with us for long enough that he should be at 40 by now. You, I suppose, can take movement speed. Man, I wish they didn't fall back quite so damn far. Alright, yeah, get next to him and be sneaky about it. Okay, let's resolve this.
None shall live.
So they'll give us a victory on the auto-resolve, but it'll be a bad victory. We can definitely do better than that. The Scarecrow banner has no benefit at all here, as there are no flying units in the enemy army. This should probably go on one of the units of Blade Singers. Okay, so... we're a little bit shorter on flying units. I'm looking at this, trying to formulate a strategy. So they have these flame cannons, which are basically like great big fire mortars. These are very dangerous. They have some organ guns, which are effectively machine guns. And then they have a bunch of gunners and a bunch of crossbow guys who also have two-handed axes and are fine in melee combat. They're pretty bad at killing, as you can see. 24-22 has them losing battle most of the time. But with 85 armor, they can stand there and fight for a really long time. They can at least hold the position. It's going to be a little ugly. I do not think it makes any sense to try to, like, build siege weapons or anything. Like, we need to get this done right now, because we know there's a dwarven army nearby that is going to come over here and try to push us off. So, we can just have the Blade Singers climb the wall, potentially, but obviously it's not my first idea. And we do not, unfortunately, have the flying units to just fly in and destroy their siege crews. But we can do some things in that direction. So it looks like there's a little bit of dead space over here, outside of their tower firing arcs. We don't want to stay grouped up for too long, because obviously the fire mortars could be a real problem. But we should, I think, start on this side. And I think that's doubly true because of the fact that our reinforcements are coming in on the other side. We do this, they put all their guys over here, and then there's nobody to defend against that push. This is going to be expensive. Just to be clear, I do not think this is one of those things where we win a flawless victory. Okay, so did it work? It pretty much worked. They put everything over here. They got 3 units of ranged stuff up on the walls. For some reason, they've started their guns way in the back corner, which is fine by me. I mean, this positioning and this positioning I get. These guys can at least defend the siege weapons if we try to dragon. But I don't know what the hell those guys are doing. So we're going to need to approach pretty quickly here. And try to get out of this tower's firing arc, because we are currently in it. And then we will also, when it comes right down to it, we will need to move our reinforcements in. Reinforcements work in a way that I find very frustrating, where they come in all piecemeal like this, and they did leave a single unit over here guarding the gates. They do not have control of the walls on this side, so hopefully we can... Nope, never mind. They ran up on the wall. I was going to say hopefully we can get close before they do that. And that single unit is controlling both of the towers. That's pretty cool and good for them. Alright, so, Dragon. How do we best make use of the Dragon Breath? Obviously, I want to Dragon Breath some of these units on the walls. We have to be a little bit careful, but the AI doesn't usually turn their units on the walls to shoot like sideways. They often will just stand there and continue to fire perfectly forward. Let's get these units sort of set up to fire at the walls. A lot of these arrows are going to make contact with the tower and stuff. Obviously, this is not ideal, but this will be a good start for annoying them at the very least. And I think we might just have our Glade Lord fly down there and start chopping. I mean, we might get some killing done before they commit melee guys to the wall. I think it's worth a shot at least. Just fly right in there and have at them. Dragon... Hopefully we'll get some Dragon Breath. We gotta remember, we have the Sisters of the Thorn, who have 1 use of the Curse of Unrare and 2 uses of Shield of Thorns that we want to make sure we get some value out of. I love units with bound spells. I think it's a really cool and fun thing. Y'all just need to keep moving up. Just get closer. This army does have some stuff that can punch through that door. I mean, at the very least, Otrolio can open that door. Are they falling back off the wall? No, they're re-centralizing such that they control none of the towers. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. That's not how that should be working. That's not what they should be doing. Alright, hold on. So, they've not moved melee up yet. Chop as quickly as you possibly can. Dragon. Go for a Dragon Breath over here. Try not to Dragon Breath our Lord, on account of we need her alive. And these Hawk Riders, we're going to have these Hawk Riders as soon as we can get them across the wall. We're going to do a volley on these gunners and see if we can burn the Thunderers down really fast. Now, is this magical damage? It says type magic missiles. All dwarves have innate magic resistance, like 20 or 25%, I think. So we may see the volley be slightly less effective here than we're used to. And on top of that, there is, of course, the issue of dwarves just having way more health than most ranged units. You have all of the tree men just go and bang on the door simultaneously. I definitely want to just punch straight through here. I don't know that we want to do the same thing on this side. I think we want to punch through this door, surge in, and then when these units start getting panicky and moving away from this gate, then we think about this gate. Although, to be perfectly honest with you, we might even just go over the wall with some of our units. I'm not sure what we'll do. I'm going to keep an eye on the dragon, because I'm worried that it's going to fly forward in a dangerous way. Okay, no, that was fine. So it does look like they're throwing grenades up on the wall to injure our lord. And I'm actually okay with them doing that because I think that they're not really doing that much damage to her, and I think they're doing a lot of friendly fire. She is a single small unit while they are... Or, well, she's a single large unit, but you know what I mean. She's a single unit that does not take up much space, while they're most of the space up on the wall here. I'm a little surprised they're not committing people to the to the attack more. Alright, so the gunners have put themselves in harm's way. Let us harm them. I do need some of you guys to veer away from this side of the wall, because this is the side that they put the guys on. How close are we to... Okay, trees are kind of getting there, kind of. Okay, never mind my concern. That worked really well. Many of them are giving up on this stay on the wall idea. They are realizing that it's maybe not that smart. Alright, we'll just keep working on the gunners. The other gunners are coming, and we'll need to fall the eagles back once they get close enough. Probably now is a good time to do that.
With haste!
But we did enough damage. Obviously, it is hugely beneficial to have arrows in a situation like this, where we can fire over the walls. If we were using guns, the crenellations on the wall would be guarding pretty much all of the shots. Well, Trolio is knocking. Is he getting the job done quickly? He is! Wow, gate's already at 25%. Alright, let me zoom back over here to make sure. They've still not committed any other units to the wall. I can't imagine why. Dwarf archers are way better at fighting than most archers, but that's a dragon. You have dudes all over the place. What they do not have a lot of in this battle, it should be noted, is anti-large. They have a lot of armor piercing, but not a lot of ways of specifically getting through, specifically dealing damage and getting attack bonuses against dragons and stuff like that. Which is to say, I think they screwed up, and their garrisons should be built a little differently. Knock, knock, knock. How's this going? Are they all getting to contribute? Yeah, okay, they're all hitting the gate. Obviously, as soon as that second arrow of Kurnus is up, we are volleying another of the gunner units. Let's make sure that we get behind the wall before we do it, so the towers don't eat any of the projectiles. You know what, I'm gonna give it a second actually. Let's let them group up a little bit more. Want their units to be closer together when we open up. There it is. I was gonna say, did they change their minds? Oh, that couldn't be better. A bunch of the melee units climbed up onto the wall right as that was going on. Okay, so the door's open, and who is through first? I mean, obviously, trees. We are a very tree-focused force, so trees into the courtyard, and then we should move our archers through right now as well, just to get them back here, but I'm a little worried. We're going to run into a problem here of bottlenecking, so I'm going to leave the other melee forces, important as they are, outside for the moment. Okay, while that's happening, nothing's changing over here. They're just letting me eat their forces, so thanks, I guess. Probably, it's looking to me like the thing that's going to end up happening here is these guys will break off. You can already see it starting to happen. And we'll be able to just land and take control of the gate from the inside. We won't even have to punch through or climb over. So that doesn't really require a lot of babysitting. They're doing the thing they need to be doing. So they don't have any real gun units left, right? In fact, they don't have any real ranged units left at all. I mean, there's these guys, but they're horribly damaged. Maybe this isn't going to end up being as expensive as I thought it was going to end up being.
Orders acknowledged.
Yeah, I want to shoot those gunners, but I want to shoot them from the side, obviously.
Without delay.
Fortunately, we can do that. Their bottlenecking nonsense doesn't work so well against eagles.
Okay.
Oh, right, except that the siege weapons are over there.
At speed.
Get over here. Use that building as cover.
Smash them.
Alright. So, these guys are running into melee for some reason. They changed their mind. Wait a second, we're not doing that. That's a bad idea. This unit's not panicked. It's just falling back. It's got the white flag over its head, but it's also showing a ton of leadership we don't actually know which one of those things is a mistake. Okay. They finally started moving melee units up onto the wall. This is the time for the flying units to disengage. There's no reason to give them a fair fight. And then... yeah, we probably Dragon Breath and stuff. We'll figure that out in a second. Let me just make sure those guys get up and trees move. Let's have 2 units of the Treekin, actually, along with all of the Dryads and Blade Singers. Just follow through here. Like I would love for them to go. Usually it shows you the path. I want to make sure we're all doing this. Go down that street, while 2 of the other units of Dryads plus all the Treekin form a block right here. Alright, stay on those. You know what? All 3 of you can just stay on those dudes. These Slayers are not... they are not cut out for the combat that they have found themselves in. And the Archers, I think, can move up considerably. Now, this is the part where we're going to start taking really heavy fire from the artillery, so we want this phase of the battle to move pretty quickly. I was really hoping that they would split off more units over here. This is not as clean as I would like. But this is probably the time to, at the very least, have the tree man over here open up the door. And we gotta remember, we do have spells. We have magic. It's a shame we don't have any magic that restores ammunition. So our poor eagles are starting to run a little bit low. Let's re-break those guys, and then I think we're going to use our last volley on the siege crews. Come on, you know you want to surrender. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, we're about to run out of arrows, so this is actually going to work out really well for them. Alright, we should probably have them volley 2 different people. So you, there, and you... I guess I'm more worried about the flame cannons than the volley guns. Maybe, probably. Alright, so, Dragon Breath. These guys have lined themselves up perfectly for a bit of the old Dragon Breath. You can volley as well. And then as soon as you've done that, get over here and get rid of them. To just fly directly through the cloud of vomit. Is there a way to instruct a unit to ground itself? I actually don't know. Obviously, you can ground an air unit by having it land on someone. But if the dragon were to land right now, I think it would take control of the gate for us. I don't know how to make it do that. Shift, Alt, nope, I have no idea. Well, alright, just do what you're doing, I guess. It looks like some dwarves are moving forward. I'll have it land on them. The Hammerers are pretty good damage dealers, and they're good against armor, so they'll do okay damage to a dragon. The Slayers, on the other hand, Slayers I feel comfortable fighting.
With haste. At once. By Karaz.
Alright, drop on them. We'll do some damage over here. You're knocking pretty quickly. This seems like a good time to throw up a quick Shield of Thorns through the wall. Alright, over here, this is going pretty much how I thought it would be going. They are mostly falling back because they are getting horribly embarrassed on this front. You know what? I think all of these archers can just move over here. And it looks to me like you guys are all kind of taking your sweet time figuring out how to attack. You know what? I think these Hawk Riders can probably just melee push the Thunderers off the map. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, but this is all good. Let's make sure we have a couple of units assigned to the side there, but yeah, that should take care of that. I really wish that there wasn't... Oh boy, we're taking damage a lot faster than I thought we would. Alright, hold on. Back up, back up, back up. I changed my mind.
At pace. Moving.
Come on, take off.
To war.
The dragon's just not going to take off. The dragon doesn't feel like taking off is the prudent thing to do. There we go.
I stand ready.
Boy, they sure do have a lot of those grenades.
As you said.
I was trying to get control of this tower clear for the moment of the gate breaking, but no such luck. Alright, so... basically, all of the melee just rushed through the gap, I think, and the archers are already in a pretty good position to back them up, like we can... that's not... sorry, those aren't the right archers. The archers are already in a pretty good position to back them up. We can move them forward a little bit more and have a little better arc on the things that they will be fighting. And the sisters... sisters I'm going to have ride right across here. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have healing on this side. And we don't need healing on this side. It's an awkward position. It looks like some of our dryads are just straight losing to dwarven siege crews. And probably this is a lot of like fire damage sustained on the approach. Oh yeah, all of the blade singers can be in go nuts mode. Well, you know what? Armor piercing damage against dwarven siege crews is probably still relevant. I don't know, whatever, leave it. Okay, so you guys are doing the thing. We gotta get Otrolio over here and cast some heals. They desperately need some healing on this side. Oh, he can do it from there. And remember, whenever Otrolio casts, everybody on the battlefield gets a little bit of love. And a regrowth on those dryads in particular. Again with the grenade guys. Okay, that's working. The desperately terrified and fleeing unit, as the game feels, has gotten control of the tower enough to fire from it, which I maybe disagree with. Let's make sure that we're providing appropriate support. So, I mean, these units are pretty engaged. I think we can just dive bomb. I would love to clear the tower, but it's just not going to happen, sadly. So this thing could be thrown on our hero real quick, and then... also a big fan of this. Okay. So enemies all debuffed on that side. Here we're just brute forcing these dwarves. Let's get you guys over here. Are there still dwarves even in there? No, I don't know what we just fired a volley at.
Protectors of the forest.
You guys fall back. No. Don't go that way. How on earth is that a reasonable read? I told them to go back 10 feet, and they're like, well, okay, let's run the wrong direction twice, make a bunch of turns, just, really complicate this as much as possible. Actually, catch these guys coming in on the flank. Yeah, dwarves are tough. They're good fighters. They're good fighters, and these are elite dwarf units. But I think we did just break them. So the losses ended up being not hugely terrible for any of our units in particular. Like, nobody got 90% wiped. But we took some serious hits there. It's important not just to win these battles, but to win these battles in good condition, right? Because we don't know exactly how much time we have to heal up, and we also don't exactly know how many enemy armies are going to show up to take vengeance on us. But we suspect it will be many. And this is a place where ambush mode is going to be like absolutely critical. So we burn Karaz-a-Karak to the ground, and don't say they didn't ask for it. I did everything in my power to get them to like chill out and play friendly. This will put us close to 30 forest health. We can do another rush of forest health the next turn, or in a couple of turns when we burn down the other couple of heathlands nearby. But there is absolutely going to be a period here where we just have to chill and wait while forest health creeps upward. That's the dangerous time.
Your request is reasonable.
Alright. Karaz-a-Karak burned down is not a thing that you see all that often during games of Total War Warhammer. That is not usually what happens to it. What did I want to pick up with you? We should probably finish Possessed of the Trickster God, right? And Otrolio, stay within reinforcement range in ambush mode. If the dwarves have armies right here, they can wander into more trouble than they're ready for. Actually, he should probably be on the other side of her. Be in a position where they have to run into him first. Another thing we should do as soon as we have kindreds, all of our initial kindreds are going to being able to build the branches of Gur. Sadly, that does require 3. I mean, we may as well build, like, every recruitment building, right? We're certainly not using the money for anything else. So Drycha and Orion can't move forward anymore because Orion ended his turn burning this. Forest of Gloom itself is poorly defended, but it looks like they only have 1 army in range to do anything about that. This river is actually probably going to be really annoying. Everybody's going to have to cross at this bridge for fear of losing all of their movement. And then, yeah, in other parts of the world, we are going to see our stuff get attacked, and, oh well. There's not a lot we can do about it. You know what, we could probably just... This can probably just be one of these. Yeah, a lot of stuff's going to get burned down. Did we move the sisters already this turn? Yeah, okay. Should we have maybe refigured this whole deal so that the sisters would definitely be on hand for the dramatic battles to come? Maybe. Maybe. I could see why you might think that would be a good idea. I mean, think of how much more dramatic it'll be when they ride over the crest at the second sunrise, though. Okay, that's a bummer. The High Elf nation that was our one of our best friends has been confederated into a High Elf nation that hates us. Because I'm not allowed to have friends. This period where the Wood Elves are getting along with people is it's a very anomalous thing. So let's see what the Reichlanders do. We know that they have at least 1 army not too far to the south of the big fight. I mean, obviously, yeah, Ashridge is gone. You guys might be overcommitting. They're actually going to siege it. They didn't attack. There's no walls on that garrison. Okay, well, you fool. This one, I feel like we can probably just take the auto-resolve. The auto-resolve on ambushes is, like, absurdly friendly. The weird thing about that is he saw through Drycha's ambush. He realized that it was 40 units worth of elves, and he was like, yeah, I can still take them. I mean, I guess it's not that weird. It's wrong, but it is in keeping with him being a dwarf. So how many elves does it take to kill a dwarf? Nobody can count that high. Alright, so that was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, and we stole a Trickster's Helm, and we get a mission. Excellent. So that's going to be another bunch of forest health. I'm actually really excited about that. It was a big turn. Let's do some basic bookkeeping here, and then we're gonna call it here for the day. We are 1 point off of Arcane Conduit.
God King of the Deepwood.
So we may as well finish out Bottomless Quiver, I guess? Do we want to get Deadly Onslaught for him? Oh, we can't. It would take 5 points just to open it up. We won't have the ability to finish it. We don't really need Forest's Roar. We probably don't need Perenniality. That said, some of the stuff in this line is just worth having anyway. Yeah, let's get health. Health is good. Alright, are there any other skill points we need to assign? Let's do that. We probably want to... I'm not wild about Transformation of Kidon. Great Eagle is just... It's hard to budget for. It's hard to have room in your magic budget for such a thing. So,
By Sigma, no!
we have a little over 1 army worth of units in Eckendorf, which Orion and Drycha should have no problem dealing with. These units will just fall back to Tudutha, the Forest of Gloom, because there's no reason to attack the pillars. Or actually, it might be Underway moves north, because Cragmere and Carreg Dromar both need to get hit. Alright, yeah, movement around is going to be a little bit weird. And we will, in fact, just pull the sisters back to friendly territory. Y'all, move.
Communing with the forest.
Local recruitment not available, even if you're in a settlement. Well, fine. We'll do the recruitment next turn. I mean, obviously, we got a little bit of time before they are needed. And I think this right here is where we call it for today. Sadly, although we have done the crazy thing, we have not yet gotten to see any of the consequences from it. But when you come back next time tomorrow, I suspect it's going to be all consequences all the time. And we'll see you then.